give us a bit of crack with some of the Dublinese phrases that you love and that you come across. You know,
I see the whole thing about Dublin is that we have this wonderful inbuilt kind of onomatopoeic, alliterative sense that we don't even know about. You and I, as we know, I was years ahead of you. Not now, then.
I'm glad he said that, in Singer.
In Singer. And
yeah.
I had a wonderful teacher there called Mr. Miller who gave me all this English. And through that I learned to listen. And then I found that people were speaking in a kind of a dialect, an idiom that I had an ear for. And I'll tell you a lovely story if I may. Yeah. First time I really noticed it. Scenario. I'm in the Chinaman's pub in the Dublin Liberties. And Gay originally lived out in this beautiful village called Rialto. South Circular Road, Dolphin's Barn, beautiful. We were in town cultures up in Inchicore. However, I'm in the Liberties and it's Tuesday, the day of the Mickey money. The children's allowance. And sorry,
we understand what you mean. That's right. Yes. So, yes. We are now being colloquial about matters. Yes.
So in Rialto, they of course built the wonderful flats. The early part was called the mansions.
Yes.
The later part was simply referred to as the flats. So I'm in the Chinaman's, and the middle-aged group would of course be living in the mansions. And two wands are sitting there with a little bottle of stout and a jar, little short one. Curlers, headscarves with the money in the polka, watching how things go and having a little chat. When in through the door comes this young one from the flats. One child in the pram, one by the hand, 8 months pregnant, sweating in the heat. Goes in and said, Joe, give us a nice little bottle of stout and some red lemonade for the children. So one of the ones with the glimmering eye looks across at her, winks at the other one and said, how are things in fertility flats? And without batting an eye, this woman demonstrates this lovely thing in Dublinese. She turns around and says, better than they are in menopause mansions.
Nice. That's it. Clip it. Yeah. More.
Well, I like things like, I'm very much into the flow of language and the way we juxtaposition things. I was with Vinnie Smith the other day in a small general store. We went in to get a bottle of milk or something. And a woman comes in, she says, hey Joey, give us a nice half dozen of eggs. Not a half dozen of nice eggs. Yeah. Then another fellow run up and say, where were you rushing to this morning when I saw you going to work?
Simple stuff.
Simple.
Yes.
Beautiful stuff.
And you work this stuff into songs and into recitations and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
I never feel that, I think I probably eventually work myself into as a follower of being as I already am, because I listen and I really feel that I just crystallise what's already out there. I mean, half the stuff you hear it every day, but when I write something, my biggest accolade would be when somebody looks at something I write, like Jesus Wept here, and they say, sure, I could have written that.
Yeah, of course, yes. And this is all about a holy hour in a pub and a stream of consciousness bit with rhymes and recitations and everything else. Now, what are you going to say to people who would greatly object to you calling it Jesus Wept? I mean, that is disrespect to the holy name, Peter.
Well, I don't. I think that rather than deal with me, I think they should deal with maybe Oliver St. John Gogarty, who said, Dubliners constantly amaze us with their frequent use of Jesus, which leads me only to the notion that they don't always use it from devotion.
Yeah.
No.
And it is somehow, I believe, a sort of colloquial expression. It's not.
Oh, it's never intended to be disrespectful.
No, it's just thrown in like the celebrated Anglo-Saxon.
I've seen women come out of confession and knock their knee off the pew and say, Jesus, that's terrible.
You can't get too upset about it. Because that's the word that comes to mind, indeed.